Hello and welcome back to our 7th episode of Journey into Pandora. We've been having a lot of fun with this series. Hope you guys have been enjoying it as well. Last week we had a fantastic run, absolutely incredible, showing how powerful green is. I had a splash of yellow, but it was mainly the green that carried me through that run. So I'm going to get back into Pandora. We're going to draft a new deck, and we'll see what the draft has in store for us. So let's get to it. Alright guys, into the draft. Looking at our first selection here, we have green, blue and red, no yellow this time. But we also have some really cool options. We have the option to go for a war elemental if you want to go blue. We also have an option to get the storyteller, which has been very successful for me in previous runs. I think I'm just going to play it safe for now, and I'm going to commit to the water elemental. Land ramp is always something really good to have, so I'm happy to take that. Now here we actually have a few good decisions. I don't mind these two, especially this, the Tiki Caretaker. I also like the Sturdy Shell as well. It's a good turn 1 collector if you pick it up. Do I want to commit to green just yet? Probably not, so let's take a Sturdy Shell. Master Swordsman's not bad. Wisdom's not too great, Monkey Genius not great, Firebringer's not great either, Warriak's not bad as well, so it's between these two. I think I'll go for the early Harvesters to start off with, so let's get the Master Swordsman. Now, I am being baited into green-blue here. This is a very good card, but this is also a very good card. And this is a good card too. So I have a selection of 3 good cards. I can stay away from green for now. So let's go for... I'm going to go for a Queen's Guard here. No, actually no, we'll go for the Outland Ranger. Farm Boy. Not a great selection here. Farm Boy's not bad. You know, it's a turn 1 collector. I might just go for the Mochi, to be honest. You know, if I pick up anything expensive later on, I'm going to be able to get a cost reduction on it. Now here again, like Master Swordsman's not bad. Mystic Beast is okay as well. We got some land ramps, so we could potentially get that Mystic Beast down, but we also have Enchantress, which could be very helpful. The Sturdy Shell can push us up by an attack. I'm going to take Enchantress, just in case we pick up any others. A good old favourite of mine, the Gabrian Warden, which also synergizes with the Spring Mochi, so let's take that Warden. I think Punishment here, probably Punishment. Again, I don't want to commit to any other colours. Mace Man, again, don't really want to commit to any other colours yet, so Mace Man's fine. Might just go mono blue with this one, actually. I don't think we've done mono blue yet, so mono blue could be pretty cool. Triton Warrior. Good, very solid card there. Alright, so looking at our deck so far, we can play quite aggressive. You know, we got some good early creatures. So Chalice from the Palace could be really helpful. Just extending the power of our creatures to make sure we can finish the game. Our deck's not particularly greedy yet, so I don't think Dark Crystal is something I want to find. Flameburst Ruby is also very good. You know, 3 damage from hand, Area of Effect. But I'm going to go for Chalice from the Palace, because I don't think we've had this in the draft so far. Frogify, fantastic. Frogify again, I'll take it again. Now, Storyteller, do I want to trigger Pandora? I mean, Triton Dive is a great collector. So I think I'm just going to go for the Diver again here. I know I've dodged Storyteller a couple of times, but I think the Diver's just really solid. Battletoads or Mystic Beast are my choices here. Mystic Beast could be pretty good. We have a few jumpers now. But Battletoads gives us 2 creatures. I like that. Probably Queen's Guard. I don't see any of these really being that helpful. I'm a big fan of Noble, actually, but maybe not so much in Pandora, so I'll take the Queen's Guard. Okay, so this is one of the worst. Do I have any production abilities? I do not think so. Okay, so the one thing about Imperial Engineer, which is a little better since he has changed, is now a 2-3, so he's actually a decent stat line. So I can just take this as a collector. The good old Gemshell Tortoise, you know me, big fan of this card. We're going to take a Colossus here. We're going to go for we're going to play a bit more aggressive. Daring Adventurer looks solid. Ooh, another Frogify. Or a Ninja Toad. Both pretty tasty selections. We're going to take the Frogify here. Frogify's just so good. Another Triton Warrior. Fantastic. Now again, we're going a bit more aggressive with this deck. I'm not going to play this as an aggro deck. I'm going to play this as kind of a mid-range tempo-orientated deck. So I need to decide what really helps me here. Earthfire Shaker's pretty decent because it gives me a bit of removal. But Secret Strength just makes my little guys huge and gives them a lot of mobility. So I think I'm going to continue down that. Although, now that I think about it, Frogify and Earthfire Shaker have great synergy. I already have Chalice from the Palace as a power-up, so actually, yeah, I'm going to take Earthfire Shaker. Like I said, just for a bit of removal. If I cast an event, which I don't have a lot of, so the Darkstalker is not great. Rubyfish is a bit meh. So we'll go for the Queen's Favourite. We're a Phantasm, that's fantastic. A lot of small creatures that we can transform into 5/5s. I'll take that. Another Triton Warrior. Can never hurt. Another Gathering Warden can't hurt as well. I don't want another Sturdy Shell. I think I'll take Humbling Visions here. As you can see, the draft is becoming a lot quicker now because I'm just taking the better blue cards. Water Elemental could be solid, although it's not really needed. Maybe Shifting Tide just for a bit of mobility. It's a little better there. I'm actually going to take Steamforge here. I want to power up my small creatures. Steamforge is pretty good for that. I don't feel like I need this because I don't have enough events. I don't really need this. I don't need this. And again, I just threw this away. So I'm happy to take a different choice there. Now we do have an enchantment available. Well, I have one Enchantress. It doesn't have a tremendous amount of targets. So I think I can take Shifting Tide again. Again, just mobility. I'm quite happy to take mobility there. It's going to have to be the Wisp. This is good in the early game. It just falls off towards the late game. Oh, and an Archon. To finish things off, do I want to give everything Flying and Jump? Sounds pretty good to me. Alright, let's do it. Alright, this is an interesting one. Very, like I said, very tempo, mid-range style deck. Using cheap creatures, a bit of mobility in either integrated into the creatures or through like Shifting Tides. And then we have Frogify to control anything big that shows up. We have Gathering Warden to make sure we can clear and stay around to tell the tale. We have a Colossus as a finisher. We have Phantasms to transform our little guys into 5/5s. And then when we get into our Pandora treasures, we have this big power up here. We have a way to make all our creatures mobile, and we have a bit of removal to go with it. So let's get into the draft, the game, sorry. Let's see how this performs, and hopefully it's successful, because it looks quite interesting. Alright, game number 1, coming up. First match, let's see how things go. I like this hand. Get a mobile creature, we can get set up a turn, an early collector. Then we have the Warden, plus the Campfire to help us control the board, so I'm going to keep this. So I can go Lake, Explore, Outland Ranger, Lake, Collect. That's a pretty nice opener, I think. This might be reminiscent of Yellow Tempo that I was playing on Deck Spotlight last week. Yellow Tempo, very strong deck that really utilizes the Outland Ranger more than any other deck in Faeria at the moment. This used to be kind of a staple in a lot. You used to see this in mid-red, used to see this in blue-yellow, but now it's more of a Yellow Tempo card than anything else. Take the collection and we'll just pass here. Now I might just double neutral up and take an aggressive Lake. Like I said, we're quite a momentum-driven deck, I feel. Oh, that's a scary card. I don't like that one. I'm happy to give this campfire. Because then it actually clears the Manta Rider. So both of these creatures now, I mean, if there was mobility, I'm still going to be able to finish off the Manta Rider, then clear it out with the Queen's Favorite. I remember when Queen's Favorite was a staple in a lot of decks. It used to be I believe it used to be naturally a 3/3. It was like a 3/3 with protection, if I remember rightly. Very, very strong. We don't see Queen's Favorite much anymore. I still think it's a pretty solid card overall. Okay. This would come over and hit Steamforge. I don't think I mind so much. So the Steamforge is a little bit of a bait here. It's just trying to get the Manta Rider to move here to hit my Steamforge, and then I can use Warden on the Outland Ranger to finish it off, and then use the Mochi to finish off the little Manta that comes out. Now, my opponent might just ignore this and just go face. No, he's going to go for it anyway. That's fine. Fanatic. Is he, oh, I think he's just going to ignore it. Okay. Going for a lake as well. Into a Spell Wheel. Spell Wheel's a pretty scary card to go against in Pandora. Just like extra gas. Picking up stuff like Aurora, even stuff like Gabrian Warden or Battletoads. Very frustrating. Let's move down. We'll get a Triton Warrior here. And we'll go face. So hopefully I'm able to finish this off next turn. This Steamforge might actually cost me the game. Maybe it was a bit too greedy. Gonna jump back. Enchant. Powers this up. Okay. Just making things a little awkward. Humbling Visions on this powers this up. Interesting. So the positioning is kind of weird for me. I need to get here. I really want to clear this if I can. Yeah. The problem is if I go for the lands here to jump over with the frog, I'm in a bit of trouble because I still take minimum of 6 damage next turn. I feel I have to go for a draw here. Oh, excellent. What a fantastic pickup there. Okay, so I can frogify this. I'm still in a bit of a weird spot though. Maybe I have to frogify this. And then just trade. I can jump here. Set up a Warden. I can move back. And clear. So I actually should have moved back first, because if I had opened Pandora, I would have been in a bit of trouble because I would have missed a Faeria, but luckily I wasn't punished for it. But I was kind of tunnel vision in this side of the board. I wasn't really looking much up here. I kind of already made my mind up what I was going to do with this first. Let's just clear it out. But I should have done that first before the draw. Ugh. That's a terrifying card. So again, I feel like I have to draw here. I do find Pandora. That kind of works. Sort of. It doesn't really. I'm not going to use it. Mainly because it doesn't really do that much. I mean, if I could play one of these as well, I'd definitely consider it, but because I can't, I'm just gonna... Actually, this should have went here, and then I should have played this here. First game, guys, just warming up. just a warm-up, so... Not playing my best at the moment. The Bottled Lightning, right, wrecks me here. Secret of Strength wrecks me. So, the problem was, the Steamforged bait didn't work out. Actually just hindered me more than anything. Maybe I should have played Steamforge in this region. It's a bit of a rocky start there. But, you know, I think I learned something from that game. And that's the most important thing when playing. Just learning as you go. So let's get into our next match. And hopefully, I'll do a little bit better. Alright guys, another match. Good start here with these two. I might actually just keep the Frogify. I've got my early lines, and this could be helpful if I want to take care of a problem later on. So we have the Sturdy Shell, start collecting early, and if it does get challenged, I have the Enchantress. Explore. We're getting smoked. So I'm actually going to be able to answer this straight away. The only issue is I don't get to collect any Faeria this turn, which is kind of sad. But I do answer the early aggression, and now I have a 2-5 and a 5-3, and I also have access to Frogify if I need it. So if something big was to come down in the next 2 turns, I do have an answer to that. Just curious to see what the next step is for my opponent. Where's the land gonna go? Which land am I gonna see? It's gonna be a forest into a Sagami Warrior. So I will take double neutral. I'm gonna collect. I'm just gonna clear this out. I'm going to take Battletoads. Because if something like a Verdant Force or anything like that comes down, I have these little jumpers to get in reach, and then I can use the Frogify on the follow-up. Seed Sower? Make land here? No. Okay. Just going to double neutral to lock this in. I'm going to jump up, collect off this well. And then I am going to set up the Triton Warrior. So I have enough damage now on board to finish this off. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I Frogify there? Well, I'm probably going to have bigger fish to fry with this Frogify, so I want to keep a hold of it, just in case anything bigger shows up. Master Swordsman. So yeah, I can finish this off now, which is pretty good for me. Could even Warden one of my little frogs. But I do want to start collecting off my opponent's well. So I'm thinking, do I either jump here, make aggressive land, and then just clear this? But this doesn't really get away. So maybe I jump here and double land and clear this, and then jump this here. Then it's just out of reach. I think I'm going to do that instead of the warden line. Because the warden's nice, but I feel like the warden could be a bit better. And like I said, I want to start collecting off my opponent's wells. The old steam forges. This messed me up last time. I gotta be careful with this. Gabriel Warden. Not great right now. Well, not in this position at least. I think I'll just take it here. Alright, so this Steam Forge is way out of reach of blocking me now. I've actually summoned it next to my opponent. Because he's playing aggro, it's gonna be a bit annoying for my opponent to suddenly decide, actually, I need to make a creature up here now to defend. So this is out of my way. This isn't gonna block me this time. That feels pretty good. That's a big yak. And a mace man. Alright, so I'm happy to clear the Mace Man here. Bit of a rhyme. Summon this. Kill the Court Jester. So I killed the Mace Man instead of the Longhorn Jack because I don't want any value to come out the Longhorn Jack. Well, easily at least. And now I have the Triton Warrior, which you can now start collecting off my opponent's wells to reduce my Wave Crash Colossus. I still have that Frogify handy as well to Frogify anything that comes down, which I don't agree with, you could say. Now I have double Frogify. Feels good. So I'm going to move here. I'm going to Frogify this, so it doesn't get value. I'm going to clear this out. Ooh, I should have maybe drawn there. I think I'll just take Faeria. Now the race is on. I might just summon a 7 Faeria Colossus at this point. Ooh, I like collecting clear. Oh, yeah, I think collecting was pretty good there. Oh, I'll give you that Fire Shaker. Chalice from the Palace is pretty good too. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Because now I can just do this. That's why I like Chalice from the Palace. It's just, if you have one creature down in a position like this, you're just like, okay, +6/+6 for free Faeria. Hit them in the orb, and then they have to immediately deal with whatever power that creature is at. And green is gonna struggle a lot. It looks like a victory for me, and yeah, first victory, guys. Feels good. Bit of a bumpy start, like I said. Look, that was just a warm-up. Just putting oil in the cogs, getting those gears moving. One apiece so far. Let's get into another game. Alright guys, we're into a rematch here against our last opponent. Playing second to the War Elemental is really strong. I like the Outland Ranger because it has a campfire attached to it, which could catch our opponent off guard, but we do know that this is going to be some form of rush variant. So I think these are fine. I think actually this whole hand is fine. We'll see if our opponent decides to rush again. We might just play the game a little differently. A greetings once more. And it's going to be a forest to start things off. So playing the game a little slower, I'm going to take advantage of this and set up my lands going into these wells. If double neutral comes down now, I can still diamond and collect and then wait till next turn. So it looks like a more mid-range strategy is being adopted now. Rush not working out so well, it seems, which is fine. I'm actually just going to take double neutral into here, and I'm going to pass. So I'm just locking, I'm just taking control of this section of the map. I don't need tremendous amounts of lakes, I only need 3 lakes actually, and this lake here and this lake here are fantastic because it lets me collect Faeria and also lets me apply pressure. Maybe this is a new deck. I don't know. We didn't see Lake last time. Shifting Octopus as a 3/7. Okay. So I'm going to jump up here. Go for the Outland Ranger. Get that campfire. Hit. Play the Queen's Guard. You know what, I'm going to continue my aggressive land push. Push right up here. With a lot of creatures on board, my opponent is playing green-blue. So it's not going to be in any area of effect clears. And I might even force some lands from my opponent now instead of maybe taking a card draw or maybe +1. This Queen's Guard is going to do a great job of locking this in place, and I can finish it off with the Water Elemental. I think the biggest fear is an enchantment, but no enchantment in sight by the looks of things. I'll speak of the devil, there's an enchantment for me. Not going to do much in this position, unfortunately. I can clear the board and just set up a new creature, that is an option. Let's take a draw. Bit late for that, but that's fine. Like I said, we can just set up another creature. We can set up 2. So we don't have to make land to double collect there. We're already double collecting. And maybe I'm going to be able to take the aggressive lake on the well spot. So this looks to be another dual color creature by the highlights. It's going to be a frog tosser. It's a pretty good card. So yeah, no aggressive land for me this turn. Let's take a draw. Excellent. Let's clear this. And go for the Triton Warrior. So again, still taking control of that left-hand side. Looks like Pandora may open very soon. I think we got the most out of the collection on the left. Oh, a God Hunter is not a card you see very often. So I'm going to jump here. I am going to take an aggressive lake. I am then going to enchant this. Stick this in here. This Pandora should open any moment now. And the God Hunter needs... If the God Hunter wants to push damage this turn, it needs a double neutral down, which means there's no card draw. Which is pretty good for me. Because if there's a double neutral now, I probably get to open Pandora. And I can still clear this God Hunter with my Triton Warrior. Fantastic. It's a shame I can open Pandora myself. Fire Shaker. Not that interested in a Fire Shaker right now. Let's get neutral here. Bit more coverage here. I can get all these lands. I'm pushing 6. Let's see what treasure. Maybe a treasure comes down. Make things a little bit more awkward. Another frog tosser. My goodness, it's actually gonna line up really nice for my Earth Fire Shaker. Is that gonna be a taunt? Yes. Now I can Humble Envisions this. +1 into Earth Fire Shaker. Jump here. And clear. My Enchantress is just sitting down at the bottom, ready to defend if anything too scary pops up. Like this, for example. So that's it, 9. I don't know if I can find lethal actually. If I get Chalice, I could. And there we have it. Looks like game number 3 is going in my favor. Deck is looking good so far. Like I said, shaky start, but I feel like I'm proving its worth. I'm taking those more aggressive, tempo-orientated lines on the wells at the start, and then able to continue applying pressure, but also control the board with cards like the Frogify. You know, I have 3 of them in the list, so Frogify is going to be, you know, just a fantastic tool for me to control the board. All right, let's get into another match and see if I can keep this win streak going. All right, guys, another match. Things have been going well so far. We have an Outland Ranger, we have a Steam Forge, we have a Mace Man. I think I'm just going to throw these and keep the Outland Ranger and just go for double neutral. Nope, change my mind. I'm going to be playing a Triton Diver turn 1. Now, this is one of the best turn 1 plays, I think, in all of Pandora. Simply because you can you can start double collecting very quickly. Now, my opponent's gone off to the right-hand side. So now I can just jump this over to the left-hand side and start double collecting in the wells. I wish I could even set up the... Well, I can actually. I can set up the Azura Wisp ready for when I double collect off this well, and it's going to gain a power-up. So a little bit of synergy there coming off. I gotta hope that my opponent doesn't have any removal. I am playing against red. We'll see what happens. No, it gets Flame Burst. A little optimistic, I guess, but I'm fine. I'm fine with that. So we can take another lake here, I think, because we want a lake on the well. Take the collection. Ooh, playing the Firestorm a little bit here. But with the Campfire, you know, I have a lot of options to jump towards one of my opponent's creatures and finish them off. It's going to be a green-red. Takes a clear. Goes for a Grimguard. Menacing foe. It's actually not a bad Frogify target. If this gets removed, I'm not actually too concerned about this because... No, right now I'd have to collect here. I'm thinking of just double neutral in left and collecting off this side. He's going to Cypher's Wrath it, so that kind of works in my favor somehow. I know it seems a bit odd, but it just takes away that awkward decision of what I do with this frog that was sat here. Now I have a very easy decision. I can just do this. And then I can go and collect off this well. If this moves down, if I pick up an Enchantress, I could clear it. That is an option. We'll see what the Grimguard gets up to. Axe Grinder. Oof. What a card. What a problem, you could say. Okay, so double neutral up. Making our way to that region. We'll go for the for the Triton Warrior. And then we'll pass. So we're just protecting the Sturdy Shell to make sure we can continue to collect off this well. Quite happy with a trade here. It's fine. Means that my Sturdy Shell lives. I get rid of the Axe Grinder for one Faeria less. I'm a little afraid of Crackthorn Beast. But no Crackthorn Beast so far. So I'm going to take a draw. I don't really have any threats at the moment. Take this here. Just continue the double collect, I guess. I guess I could warden itself, and then if this moves down to collect, I could use the campfire to kill the Grimguard. Maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe I warden this. Maybe I make sure this can continue to double collect for me for the duration. You know what, I can actually go for the Warden on my Frog. I want to make sure I continue to out-harvest my opponent on free wells in the early game. Which will allow me to play more cards, but also give me more options. And there is a Crackthorn Beast, and it's going down that way instead. Interesting. This kind of ruins my plan of using the campfire to finish this off. And more combat creatures coming down. This deck's looking very strong. It looks difficult for me to handle. I could do with drawing a Frogify at this point. Punishment doesn't quite do it, unfortunately. Well, actually, no, I tell a lie. I can Campfire this to 5 punish. So yeah, I can finish this off with a Campfire. Into a punishment. I'm actually one life out of reach of the underground boss, but now I have a cluster of creatures. Maybe the Outland Ranger was a little bit better here, so I don't get bottled lightning. I always talk about bottled lightning, but I very rarely see it, to be honest. Could have been a good precaution, though. Let's throw a draw. Chalice from the Palace could be very strong. Oh, that's a big Warlord. So if I go for Chalice now, I could potentially clear this. I can draw Earthfire Shaker, but I won't be able to clear everything. I do want a Water Elemental get an aggressive lake as well, so I think I'll Chalice first. So a clean trade here. Ah, this is sad. I won't be able to Water Elemental this turn after all. I could double neutral instead and then just take the Swordman. Oh, another... Ooh, Clyde Machine. Okay, so this does open up a few things for me. This allows my Warden to hop, skip, and jump over towards that Warlord. Get that +1 attack as well, so that's important because that's going to allow my Warden to jump over and finish this off. This will get a power up, a little unfortunate, but then I can also clear this as well. So I could actually jump over first with this, attack this guy, and then jump here and attack this, so this doesn't get powered up. But that's assuming my opponent plays nothing, which I don't think is going to be the case. He does have 2 treasures loaded in those chambers there, ready to fire off when he needs them. Just curious of what they are. My last treasure is the Earthfire Shaker, which could be useful, depending on the situation. Let's put double neutral into hold the line. That is interesting. So just trying to keep my Swordman at bay, which unfortunately just makes it a bit awkward for me. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I cleared this guy. I jump up. I clear this with the warden. This will... And this gets powered up. But I still have 1 life left on this. Let's take a draw. Okay. Let's clear this. Clear this. So I've moved them in a position where they can... So at least my sturdy shell now can affect everything on the outside. And my Outland Ranger can also do that too. My Outland Ranger can also get here. As these are the 2 safest spots right now for my opponent. But it's kind of bullying my opponent into a very defensive position. But there's still 2 treasures to worry about. I'm not sure what they are. I know there's also an Imperial Guard. So 3 of these cards are treasures, 2 treasures, an Imperial Guard, and 2 other cards. 11 Faeria as well. That's a lot. It is going to be a borderline hit. I talked about it. It showed up. Now, do I probably have to protect the Clyde machine going forward? So I'll just take some neutrals here. Take Queen's Favourite. Take this guy as well. So both of these can trade with this. Well, actually the Queen's Favourite is going to live. It's a little sad actually if he has removal because he gets to clean this up in 1 hit with the Cypher's Fodder. And then my Queen's Favourite's actually not going to have enough attack to finish this off. Flame Spitter. Knock off the shield. +1 to Imperial Guard. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just take care of that. Triton Warrior here. And we'll put a Triton Warrior here as well. The double Triton Warrior is pretty strong because I have a lot of reach in this region, which is where my opponent's probably going to be summoning. I also have 3 Frogifies left in deck, as well as my Earthfire Shaker. So I have some pretty good options going forward. And the double Triton Warrior is going to be pretty nice, I think. It's a Barbarian, so just ignoring my Clyde machine. Take a draw, because I want to find that Frogify. But a Phantasm instead. I'm going to take 7 to my orb if I'm not careful. I'm going to just do this. I don't want to make a land here because I would rather force my opponent to make the land. Let's take that there. Another treasure. Earthfire Shaker is going to work out really well for me actually. Barbier and Ogre clears this. Has 2 life left. Earthfire Shaker aggressively, maybe defensively, depending on what happens. We can go from there. I also have 1 damage of burst in hand. I can Phantasm. Oh no, that's a problem. That is a problem. Yeah, okay. So I can Earthfire Shaker. This will make this a 4/4. And I feel like I might have to. Unless I take a lake here, go Daring Adventurer, and then I enchant this? That might be a little better, actually. I want to get value out of my Earth Fire Shaker if I can. Now, if the Ogre goes into the Daring Adventurer, it's not that bad, because then I just clear the Ogre anyway. I can +1 into Phantasm if I need to on the follow-up, so if one of my creatures live, I do have a good answer. I'll have 6 damage. So like I was saying earlier, Mirror Phantasm with Cloud Machine actually represents 1 damage additional to my opponent's orb if I transform my Triton Warrior. So if I ever need to find lethal and 1 off, I should consider Phantasm. But I kind of have quite a bit of damage from hand, including the Fire Shaker as well. Blazing Salamander. Yep. Now, do I just go aggressive now? Do I just play this aggressively and hit orb? Then try and set up lethal? Can he really kill me from hand? Like, is that possible? 9, can go up to 9 Faeria, triple Flame Burst, hit face is going to be lethal. This is lethal on its own. But if this gets cleared, I have to set up another creature. Maybe I just go for the more safer line. So I'm forcing my opponent to play defensively going forward, and I got +1, so I can Phantasm a Taunt if a Taunt comes down. And then hit Orb. If it gets removed, I just play a Mace Man. But there we have it, another victory! Feels good so far. So the deck has been performing quite well. We're currently at 3-1, so we're not doing bad. But we still have a long journey ahead of us to get those 9 wins. So thank you very much for watching, guys. That is the end of part 1. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Be sure to check out last week's journey into Pandora if you haven't already. Quite a good run, I'd like to say. And also, there's a deck spotlight for Yellow Tempo, looking at Rizo's list, which got top 4 in the first Aurora Open. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Pandora.